In Spain, you can earn less and still the quality of life that you'll have is very, very good. In terms of, from my experience, some of the best things that I like to do are free, you know? Like the weather.
Living in Spain for over 2,374 days, there's one thing that I've noticed. In Spain, yes, you get paid less, but that really doesn't have as much effect on your quality of life as you'd think. In fact, I'd go as far to say that I'd rather be making 30k a year living in Spain than earning 100k living in the UK or the USA, for example. And it's for a couple of reasons, really. The first being that there's so much to do here in Spain that can be enjoyed for free. Cities are planned with people in mind, and so people are out living in the streets, on benches or in plazas and parks.
You mentioned why you prefer Spain over UK over US, and you say you would rather make 30k a year, and why is that?
So a part of the answer for this comes down to, I'm going to break the illusion a little bit. And when I'm writing a script, oftentimes I try and write something that's true to me, but then I will also you have to try and simplify the idea as well, right? So 30k in Spain, if I live in Marbella, I live in Madrid, or live in the Basque Country, it's going to get me it's going to get me further or less far, right? So it's going to be either a decent amount of money to live on or not. Same in the States. If I live in New York versus, I don't know, give me an example. Like if I live in New York versus like one of the flyover states where it's cheaper to live, obviously 100k in some places is worth more, and 100k in other places is worth less. But I guess I'm just kind of giving the general sentiment. What I'm trying to get at is the general sentiment of, in Spain, you can earn less and still the quality of life that you'll have is very, very good. In terms of, from my experience, some of the best things that I like to do are free, you know? Like the weather in Spain comes for free. And is there good weather in the US? In some states, yes. In some states, no. But like it comes into everything when it comes to driving everywhere, for example, in the US. And it's the same thing as well. It's like, okay, I get not everywhere you have to drive in the US, but generally you have to drive in the US. Generally, the healthcare is fucked. If you want to, for example, having a heart attack could literally bankrupt you in the US, which is just a crazy concept, you know. In Spain, like you're not gonna, that won't happen basically. Like your medical bills alone in the US could ruin you. So I'm just trying to get at the general sentiment that the quality of life here is good, and not the quality of life in the stereotypical way of like siesta, fiesta, because that's done and a bit overdone. And I get it, like, yeah, people get that. I think at this point people get that's not really the reality of Spain. Well, I guess for some people it might be, but that's not the real reality of Spain, because yes, people work hard here in Spain as well. People have the 9-5 as well. But I think that's just a long way of answering your question. That the general quality of life is cheaper here, because a lot of the things are free. You can't buy them. You know what I mean? A lot of the things. Sorry, let me rephrase that. A lot of the best things in life in Spain are for free. So it's like the weather. It's like the terrazas. Yes. It's like the going for a run down the Rio. It's just the social side of things, and maybe the interactions you have on the street, and the general feeling of a place. Whereas in the States, when I've been there, it has a lot of good things about it as well. But let's face it, your money doesn't go as far, and you're in the rat race a little bit more over there. Over here, not so much.
You answer almost exact same as you do in the video. Of course, I wrote it down. Much more to do in Spain. People out living their life. Yeah. And more hours in the day. Yeah. Let's take the third one again. That's it. Yeah. You said that a couple of times. More hours in the day. What does it mean, and why do you feel like that?
So, yeah, this is a good question. Actually, when I compare it to the US, obviously I've never lived in the US, so I've lived in the UK. I'm from the UK. I compare it to the US because I'm going to reach a wider audience by comparing it to the US. You know what I mean? But Americans are going to comment and be like, "So true," or "This guy has no idea what he's talking about." I'm really trying to reach a wider audience with that exact comment. So when I'm comparing it to the UK, for example, when I lived in London, I would get up in the morning. I'd get on my clothes, I'd get the metro, then I'd get the overground and the underground, or whatever it is. I'd get the overground first, which is like the train line system, and then I'd get the underground, which is like the metro. Then I'd arrive at work, I'd work all day, and I'd come home. By the time I was home, it was often dark. Obviously in summer it's not, but like it was often dark. And yeah, I don't know, I just felt like I didn't have any ganas to do anything, you know what I mean? I didn't really want to do anything afterwards.
Ganas, in Spanish, it means like goals, achievements?
Ganas is like, I didn't have, if you no tengo ganas, it's like I couldn't be bothered to do anything. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't want to do anything afterwards, because I felt like it was an effort to get up and go somewhere else again and go and find my friends. Whereas in Spain, In my experience, it's a simple case of just leaving the house, walking 10 minutes, and you can be on like a terraza or something, having beers with your boys, which is pretty invaluable. That's what I value. And then even stuff like, I do jiu-jitsu as well. I can go to jiu-jitsu, I can come back, and maybe even I've got enough time for one beer after that as well. It just feels like the days last longer, and I think it's not because of the early or the later sunsets. It's because of the general attitude towards life here.
Beautiful. Talking about all the pros and cons living in Spain, I would like to turn it around because you promote a lot live in Spain on your Instagram.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, what do you miss from the UK?
What do I miss from the UK? What do I miss from the UK? It's funny because...
Could I ask you for a small favor that would mean a lot to me? If you found this conversation interesting, then please give the video a like, so I know what content to make more of, so I know what topics to dive deeper into next. Yeah, that will be a massive help. Find the full episode somewhere here below, and thank you for your support.